I'm going to say no. You are a bubble right now. Hey, I'm only out here until the end of the week. Unless someone's getting some very last minute tickets, I'll just be back in time. Oh, the film museum. Well, yes, you have to go to those. And the planetarium, because all three of them are together. Everyone should bubble. You dislike the bubbles of boba. And you accuse me of sin. The bursting ones are interesting. Why would you want to eat weird slime? I wouldn't describe the texture as that, but okay. Last time you almost killed me, you forgot you were drinking boba and inhaled it. Ow. Place your sticker spoon into your computer and it's half melted. Hey, had you done that a few years ago, you might have actually discovered the microwave. The solid, large gelatin things that are. It's called tapioca. I'm always very hit or miss on lychee. Like, sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like, oh god, what is this? Sometimes the lychee tastes like cleaner. Yes, exactly that. supply chain cleaner. It's like cilantro. Cilantro is another one for me. I get the soap sometimes, but not always. Full flavor. Thanks, Google. Yes, celery is one of the things we very quickly realized we agree on. Hello. Not getting any audio from you.
All right, I'm sure you hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's whenever you start the event early, like there's some bug in Discord. Unfortunate. You don't have to start the event. You can just let me, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, put the announcement out. Get started. Give everyone a minute to join. We'll get started.
Looks like we're about leveled up.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. This is the weekly Midjourney office hours. We do them every week at Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Basically, what we do is we talk about what we're thinking about, what we're working on, and then we take questions for a bit. So let's get started. Two biggest areas we're working on right now are, web and our image models. On the website, we're focusing on trying to clean things up for new users. I think I probably should say that, the goal of the website isn't to get people to stop using Discord, but to have an easier experience for new people. So I think we want to make sure that the website is good for that. So, I think we've been looking at sort of changing a bunch of things around that are, I'm sure will be confusing to some people here because it involves changes, but in general, the idea is to like make it easier for a person looking at the website for the first time to sort of figure everything out. So, just trying to, and generally just like remove, like kind of combine things together and try not to have things that are like needlessly separate features. So like, we'll probably try to combine the pan and the reframing and the sort of vary region into more of like an editor view where it sort of has like sort of, you can kind of reframe things and do things kind of in like a cohesive way. It's, the reason why we have all these different buttons is mostly because of Discord. So on a website, there probably are better ways to reframe an image than pushing a side button. So we'll probably like clean that up. We'll have way fewer buttons in the Lightbox because of that. We'll try to make things more self-documenting. We're having like better error messages. We're overhauling like the status thing so that you can't get hanged jobs as easily. Things that are kind of important for like a new user to feel comfortable on the platform. Sort of less of whereas right now it's more of an alpha state. So I'm sure like, a lot of people would rather us implement subfolders than make the site more reliable. But I think we're going to make the site more reliable because if somebody's on the website and not on Discord, then that is sort of a direct thing that decides what whether they're having a good experience or not. So there's like a lot going on there. Everything's always slower than we'd like, but it's making steady progress. And as we get more comfortable there, we'll start letting people in and sort of watching them more and more at larger and larger scales. But for now, I hope everybody enjoys the website. We do seem to find that everybody who uses the website tends to prefer the website. But most people still haven't tried the website. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. If you have at least 100 images, you should be able to use it. Yep, we haven't really been pushing it really hard yet in terms of marketing. So because it is sort of so early, but it's interesting to see how that leads to fewer people using it just because people aren't aware of it. We can kind of see basically who's used it once, how often do they use it versus, and what percent of people have used it once. And so a lot of people just haven't used it yet. So obviously those people are pretty happy on the Discord product. So that's, good. But, as the website gets better and people prefer it, you should try that too. I'm still not really happy with the community side stuff on the website. But I think we're gonna focus on sort of the new user experience basics first for a little bit, and then kind of come back to that. We have some good ideas on improving the front page and improving the rooms, but we just frankly don't have enough engineers to work on all the features that we have. And I think that's kind of a continual frustration about Midjourney is that because we've been kind of building up a product over multiple years, the number of features we have is just sort of we'd be able to get there because people only work at a couple features at a time, and we've accumulated things over years. But at this point, we have more features than users, so building anything that supports the full feature set is pretty tricky. And so, I think there's a lot of company. I feel like when Facebook had half as many features as us, they had 1,000 employees. So I don't really want. You can't just hire more people all the time and necessarily do good work still. So. I think we're in kind of a tricky middle area in a lot of ways, and I don't really know the best way out of it aside from just not taking our time and doing what seems right. Obviously, we are hiring more people on web if there are great and senior web engineers out there, but we're doing our best and pretty good in a lot of ways. It's pretty rare that you see any kind of platform shift, you have a massive thing on something like Discord, and then there's a totally new product that's on web, and people like it. More often the new product ends up being for a different demographic, like people who don't like Discord or something. Then you kind of move everybody over, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Definitely people who use it seem to prefer it. But yeah, it's hard to make everyone happy. I think it's probably not possible to make everyone happy. So I'm sorry for the people who we make not happy. I hope you're happy. Hope you find some corner of the product to be happy in. Yeah, there's that. And then there's the model side, which is basically personalization. Looks like it's going to be the first thing to come out. We have personalization. We have a version of the personalization on the testing server with the guides and mods that I would say almost everybody is happy with. It's good. People are happy enough to release it, I would say. Whenever we see 90% happiness, 95% happiness, it means that it's good enough. We do have some versions of personalization that are better than the version that 95% of people are happy with, which puts us in a tricky position because it's do we keep making it better or do we just release the thing? I think, we have one that we are much happier with, so I think it'd be hard to not want to release that. We do have some versions that may or may not be even better that we're testing today. At some point, though, I think we'll release a personalization and then basically update it more over time. Yeah, but the personalization is looking pretty close to being ready. There's a lot of little edge cases, whether it's the exact way we handle personalization codes and versioning, and whether we let people blend personalization things on day one or whether we ship that later, and what the exact flow is everywhere for all the subcomponents of it. we're kind of just doing a lot of conversations around that. Uh, it's definitely going to be a bit bare bones. Like the goal is not to give you like it's not meant to be an enterprise tool. It's not meant to be like super controllable, but it will be, I think, really great. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I think we hope that we can get that out next week. Let's see. Yeah, we'll try to get it out next week. Some people are trying to talk about getting it out this week. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could happen. But I think yeah, I think it's more likely to be next week. Um, and So that's exciting. That'll be a really, really big. It'll be a big deal for people. Um, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. It's not on by default. Um, I think everybody prefers the personalized versions over the non-personalized versions. Somebody said it almost feels like 6.1 by itself, like they feel like their image quality increases, which is interesting because I think it improves the aspects of the image quality that you might be focused on. So I mean, it's I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Um, yeah, there's limits obviously, but it's pretty good. The main 6.1 release is uh block like we have like three parts of it, and like we have like the pixel quality, we have like the hands and bodies and text. And basically the pixel quality thing is blocking the hands quality, the hands body text stuff. And so I don't really know what to do there. Like, do we keep waiting forever on that, or do we just sort of start moving towards a version of 6.1 that doesn't have the new pixel quality stuff? Um, Hard to know. I think people feel like they keep saying that they think it's close to being good. So I think we'll give it a little bit longer, but I think very rapidly I will I think we'll lose patience, and then we'll basically make a version of the 6.1 that doesn't have the new pixel quality improvements, but has the coherence improvements. So we're gonna get a new version out. Whether or not it has all the features in it is hard to know, but I'm gonna try to push that out to the extent that I can, and not kind of let one thing block another thing, block another thing indefinitely. Um, at some point there will be the pixel quality increase. At some point there will be the sort of coherence and texting increase, and each one is a pretty big deal. So yeah, try to make sure we get something out this month there. Just hard to say if it'll be one improvement or two improvements, or three. And so I'm hoping that we get both the sort of some set of improvements there plus the personalization stuff all this month, which I think will make V6 feel quite a bit different in a lot of ways. I think it'll feel a lot more serious. It will be a lot more serious. At some point around the time we do personalization, we're going to do this like really big demographic thing and try to get people to um try to get people to sorry, I lost my train of thought. Shouldn't be reading people's text. What's I talking about? It's like I'm just gonna paste something here, just get something out of the way. Second. Anyway, um, yeah, we'll do the demographic stuff, and I think that's gonna let us sort of know a lot of interesting connections between demographics and aesthetics, and then we may even allow people to like we're thinking about letting people set their like demographics, meaning like I'm a dude, but maybe I want to like flip Midjourney to like uh female mode and sort of like explore like the more feminine aesthetic versions of things rather than my own personal aesthetic. So might be interesting to let people kind of explore the demographic space of styles. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I think it'll be interesting. We're gonna think about it. I'm sure it'll be a little bit controversial because people will be like, "Wait, women want all men to be vampires?" And then like, Business Insider will be like, "Midjourney says all women want men to be vampires," and there'll be like a whole thing about it. But I think it's probably, you know, uh, probably still worth doing because it's gonna be pretty interesting and reflective for us to do. And I think that kind of, forwards the mission of people exploring things. Yeah. But in order for us to do like that demographic thing, we'll need to ask people, like in order to sort of ask, in order to sort of look at like what the average male versus female style is, we'll need people to say whether they're male or female and things like that. So we'll try to ask as much as we can, and we don't know which ones will be interesting. There's definitely a large difference between male and female, but there are, and there's differences between younger and older. Are there differences between other things? I don't know. Like in theory, we can do different countries and stuff like that too. And so it'll be interesting to kind of let people explore that. Maybe in the future, Niji Journey is just the mid journey that's the average of Japanese users. Um, Nobody knows. In theory, we should try to ask as much as we can. Like in theory, we should even ask like, yeah, like, are you colorblind? Are you LGBT? If we ask people if they're LGBT, then they could like you could turn the style to like maximum LGBT mode, which would be kind of interesting. Um, you know? Yeah. Which would I mean it'd be interesting, right? I like it definitely uh yeah, we did a non-binary version of Midjourney once and it made everything more like purple and pink, which was interesting. I don't know if that'll happen this mode, but this time, but yeah, basically made everything bisexual lighting. Um yeah, it'd be I mean I think it would be interesting to kind of let everybody play with the demographics and sort of explore that. I mean, it is interesting. I think people will have a little drama, but I think I'm kind of like I'm kind of, I don't know if it's hard to like it's like how much do we not let people explore the nature of reality because somebody is going to be dramatic about it, you know? It's like being truth oriented versus feelings oriented. And, civilization is built on truth, so it's probably worth doing. And yeah, so that'll be cool. And V7 is still chugging along. In some ways, I think V7 could be really good. So I am excited about that. But we've definitely been slowed the fuck down by personalization in 6.1 stuff, which is unfortunate. But it is chugging along, so a lot of hard things have been happening. And we are spending a lot of money to make the next version. It is all the wheels are turning. Um, I think there's a new version of Niji Journey that they're thinking about releasing. I don't know 100% sure if we're gonna release it or what the schedule on releasing it is, but they were looking at improving the ability to draw kanji. So like people in Japan are really into like drawing characters, like not characters as in like a Pikachu, characters as in like a letters, you know. And so I think there's a new version of Niji that draws Asian, what do we call it? Asian pictographic characters. What do we call them? Like letters, Asian letters, but glyphs. Yeah, glyphs or letters better. Um, so I think that's kind of cool. I mean, obviously it's not the number one thing that I enjoy, but I think we have to let the Niji team do things that they think that Niji people are into, and so in Asia people are really into uh, letters and glyphs. So letting them do that seems cool. Um, what else? We're gonna try to keep it. We're putting more people on updating our moderation stuff, so hopefully the moderation will continue to improve over the next month. So we'll hopefully have a large update in the next 30 days where we just add a lot more data to the moderation system, so it has more examples of what's good and bad. So it should just get a lot smarter. That's only on the prompt moderation. The image moderation we still don't really have a lot of time for. Um, we tried offering a discount, but it didn't really on last weekend because we had extra GPUs. I don't think it really ended up making a big difference, so we may have to reevaluate how to encourage people to make more images when we have extra GPUs. Not 100% sure on the best way to do that, but we may have to brainstorm on that. Um, yeah. Anyway, we'll figure something out. All right, I think people are starting to ask questions, so why don't we let people do a lightning round, and you can type questions in VC text, and I will try to answer. Personalized models will be based on the rating images and liked images for now. The liked images is not updating as quickly, so we're kind of debating things about things. We're not working on improvements to very region, but we are working on improving maybe a better user interface for it on the website. We're not planning on doing a thing that upscales all four images. There's no, I don't really like the way that Discord works with upscales because it's not really upscaling anything. And so this sort of virtual upscale stuff is kind of bullshit. And if you want to grab all the images in full scale, I think you should just use the website. So on the website, all the images are separated by default. I know some people don't want everything to be separated by default on the website, but whatever. It doesn't make sense to combine them like this too. So just use the website. Um, for V6 pixel improvements, everything will kind of improve. It's like texture and less glitches. Things like skin look a lot better. It's kind of hard to put into words, but you just kind of notice that the pixels look better everywhere, like small scale pixel stuff. Um, Yeah, I mean, I know that there's definitely some kind of curator experience where people could make, folders of liked images and things like that, but I think we basically need like a full-time team just focused on organization at some point. And right now we just don't have that many people. Um, if you don't rate or like things, you can't use the personalization. You have to rate or like things. You can rate or like things after the personalization comes out, but you can't it's going to be based off of something. We'll have a better onboarding in the future as we make personalization on by default, but for now it's not going to be on by default and it will just be something that people can play with. How will humanity implement digitally controllable micron thick solar shades that you mentioned on Twitter a few years ago? Well, it's just exactly how, you make a lot of sunshades in orbit between Earth and the sun. You block out a little bit of the sun and makes the world colder. So you could have like a sort of a sunshade, like a blinds over the sun a little bit and control the temperature of the Earth. Not that expensive even. There's also a newer plan that involves just like lots of base bubbles, like little bubbles in low Earth orbit. Maybe just surround Earth with like lots of little bubbles. That also does something similar. So I am a strong proponent of geoengineering, which means controlling our climate in reversible ways, ideally using stuff in space. Just because, like, yeah, if we can make the world warmer by mistake, we can make it colder on purpose, and we can make it even controllable. So we can put a thermostat on the Earth if we want, and it's pretty straightforward. It's just too expensive for Midjourney to fund. Um, we are gonna let you can already do multiple srefs in V6. You just can't do it with the style codes. You have to do it with URLs. At some point, we'll add the style codes too, but we're just really backed up on people to work on those features right now. Personalization isn't necessarily about style, it's more about the nuanced underlying biases around images in general. So it might affect everything from faces to animals to color. We're not planning on taking the grid stuff from Discord to the website. I think the grid stuff doesn't make sense. And I know some people like it, but I think what they really want is just multiple levels of rating. And so I think it makes more sense to bring a 4-star rating system to the website than it makes sense to bring a fake upscaling system or something. Story team is doing more cool stuff. The personalization will constantly be changing as you rate things. It will not be possible to seed lock it early on. So it's just going to change all the time and you have to accept it. We have looked at improving the site updates for image weights, but I don't really know the status of it. It's obviously not that important because almost nobody uses that feature, but it is a thing that we are looking at. I think you can pay for 2 accounts with the same credit card. I've definitely seen that done before. Um, Midjourney already makes all the prompts look better no matter what type. You can just type cat, you can type something else. A lot of other image generation things require like stupid, long, terrible prompts, and we just don't. So, you don't have to do that here. Um, we're not running out of GPU, so we don't have to do anything around that. It's more of like on weekends we seem to have extra GPUs. So we're trying to figure out the best way to get people to use those. We would like to do bigger grids of images still. We've just kind of fucked up on being able to get that working because the higher quality, the larger images just always look better. And so we're hoping that as we reduce the small pixel artifacts, we can go to smaller images again for faster iteration, bigger batches. There's also a universe where just the next versions may be fast enough that we can just do bigger batches of big images. So we'll see what happens. We will have ways to control the personalization more in the future, but for now, we don't. They did remove the use button right now, but you can just click the prompt and copy it instead. I think they're looking at changing it again into something that's better. Ugh, Discord just like ruins the scroll sometimes. I don't know where it's scrolled to anymore. You can't stack sref codes right now. We're looking at doing it. Um, Unintended consequences of cooling the sun. You're not really cooling the sun, you're cooling the earth. There's no risks of changing the amount of light on the earth up and down as long as you can change it quickly. Oh geez, the scrolling just completely lost. I'm not sure where I was. Oh, here we go. We're thinking of we're gonna change the whole interface around zoom and pan on the website. So there won't be a need for something like custom zoom anymore. Um, yeah, just click the prompt right now instead of use, but we're gonna change that more later. The next 6.1 or 6.5 will improve faces in general. I don't really know what you mean by V4 faces. V6 should be generally better than V5 in every way, but there are certain styles that V5 might, very like nuanced random things that V5 might do better, as every model has something that it does better. Liking your own images does not affect personalization. Otherwise, it'd become kind of hyper narcissistic. We're not going to create multiple types of liking. Every small like and rating doesn't have very much effect on the system. I did not watch the Boeing launch. I'm not super excited by Boeing, to be honest. I think they need to go from being like a money optimizing service to a sort of a more obviously pro-humanity thing. Like airplanes should not crash and they shouldn't burn billions of dollars on rockets that are not reusable. Like it's just, I think Boeing needs to catch up, reorient radically. Um, but I will watch the SpaceX launch tomorrow. Um, do you think people will start to mistrust the reality of digital images and push back to live in-person experiences? I think people who spend too much online should definitely spend some time offline. I think that's true regardless of what happens in technology. There is not a way to link. I don't know if there's a way to link to a profile. You can link to, there isn't really a profile right now on the website. Um, it will use old ranking data for any ranking data or likes from V6 will be used for your personalization. Yeah, we'll see what happens with personalization. If we decide that personalization is bad, it just will not be turned on by default. But right now I'm pretty sure personalization is good, and I think it will be default in V7. I think it makes the images radic and it makes the community radically more diverse. And as you see things in the community you like, it will, like I like this image and it's different than my normal style, then your style will start to change more towards like that. So I think it'll be good. I think it's like very new and a little scary, but I'm pretty confident that there's a limit to how good we can make the images without personalization because there's such a thing as objective and subjective beauty. You can like different styles that are not similar, and we'll try to use different ones depending on the situation. Maybe one way to look at it is it's not necessarily making it more of what you like, maybe it makes it less of what you dislike, like it should, yeah. It's hard to describe, but I wouldn't really be worried. I haven't heard of anybody who is unhappy with the personalization so far. Everybody likes it better than the defaults. We're still working on video and 3D, but I think 3D is ahead of video right now. I'm slightly less optimistic on video right now in general. It will happen. It's just uh, I'm pretty sure that like even if we just shipped something that was exactly the same as Sora right now, everyone would hate it. So I think making it good, there's like good and there's good enough, and I think that good enough is still a bit out for video. Ultra lax mode where you have to wait till the weekend. Yeah, I could do that. Interesting idea. Ultra relax mode. We're not working on not safe for work stuff right now. I think one day, there'll be a way to make I would not be surprised if one day people could make a boob, but like we can do tasteful nudity, but it's not really worth our time. Like I have more important things to put my energy into. Sorry, boob lovers. Um, liking your own images does not affect personalization. You can try if you have prompt questions, try asking in the prompt chat. You can't turn the sun into a supernova, not currently within our abilities technologically. We're not letting people like their own images because I don't think that like if you like an image you already make, then like you already can make it. So what would liking it do, right? It's kind of a like do you just want all of your images to look like the same prompt all the time? Just use an sref or an image reference or something else. It's not the right way to do it. Yeah. Um, we will do shareable galleries and such one day. You will be able to share the personalization. Oh no, it just killed my scroll update again. Why does fuck does it do that? Ah. We do have some red teaming things, but we don't have a way to apply for it right now. I do talk to Elon. Elon is a friend. Play video games together. Yes, assassination is bad. Um, yeah, we just don't have enough time to spend like a lot of time on organizational tools right now. So, if you want really good organization, you can save the images to your computer and use folders on your own computer. Like organization has worked for 30 years. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but I know you would like us to like re-implement file systems on a website, but you really can download images and organize them locally too, or put them in Google Cloud or something. And so we will have more over time, but it's hard to be motivated to put all of our energy into that. Um, there are already lots of companies who do AI generated boobs. I don't think we're really focused on just because somebody else does something doesn't mean that we need to do it. If anybody else is like, I mean, the way that I'm not really, a lot of people are ego based, like, someone wants all the money or they want all the attention. I just want to do the stuff that we're uniquely served to do. So if somebody else can do something, then they can do it. And I feel happy about that. People are adding things that are unique to the world that would not happen without them. Um, yeah. Um, I've mostly been playing Diablo 4 with Elon, but I've been playing StarCraft with my other friends. I think Diablo kind of goes in and out, where we really like it, and then we get bored, and then we like it, and then we get bored. I haven't gotten to play Homeworld 3 yet. I'm kind of scared to play Homeworld 3 because everybody's been so disappointed, but I should try it because I loved Homeworld 1 and Homeworld 2 was okay. I don't usually play like hack and slash things unless it's with friends. So, I play Diablo 4 mostly when because Elon does it right now, and I can play with him. And I mean, I play sometimes by myself because it's a quick shit game, but quick game to just play around with. I mean, it's a good game. But I think if I could play Diablo or StarCraft, I'd still rather play StarCraft right now. It's a little bit more. I mean, Diablo is probably a better game if you want to like just talk while killing demons, but StarCraft is probably a more fun game if you're not talking as much. Yeah, original Homeworld is great. One of the best games ever made. Nothing new is out. If you want to see what's out, you go to the announcement channels. Is everyone else just waiting for OpenAI powered worlds for his current video games? I don't think OpenAI is going to do video game like things. I think they're focused on assistance. Okay, I think we're kind of trailing off a little bit. We could do a few voice questions if anybody wants to come up and ask questions on the stage.